The Emperor won't allow those slaving pirates to keep attacking the villages. You'll see.
There are ghosts wandering the land. I won't leave my house after dark.
The folks of this town were kind at first, but now they're starting to annoy me.
Life seems normal enough here. You could almost ignore all that has happened.
If Captain Ing can't get the ship out soon, there'll be a mutiny. A right bloody one, too.
The Emperor won't allow those slaving pirates to keep attacking the villages. You'll see.
There are ghosts wandering the land. I won't leave my house after dark.
Pretty.
Wo afawer sun ork fonir ook. Oksier sa fet kup wo sarkir.
Put that sword back, lout! Surely there was never a minister as unlucky as Minister Sheng to suffer such insolence.
Koni onu you tashika will fonil sataraponi?
And still poor Minister Sheng suffers the insults of tradesmen who know nothing of justice. Where would I put the lout? My jail has been burned to the ground, along with my office, I might add. I have no place to put thieves, so stop questioning your betters. It is not easy to be Minister Sheng, beset with troubles and doom, and now interrupted by some difficult stranger. Truly, can you not see that I am busy watching my career slide into oblivion? Minister Sheng simply hasn't time for your petty concerns. I have problems of my own. The Ministry of Harmony, which oversees taxation and execution, usually in that order. But poor Minister Sheng oversees nothing in this dying town. Nothing but failure! This backwater pimple of a town lives off of the lake created by the Great Dam. But the Great Dam is open and the lake is dry. The town is dying. Under my supervision. I have nary a clue. Unless... Oh, very well, you've convinced me to talk. It is dangerous to say anything, but I am a brave man. It was that horrible Inquisitor, Lim. Lim oversees the Lotus Assassin operations in this area. A few weeks ago, he came to town and demanded a key to the ruins. Then his men went up there and opened the Great Dam. Inquisitor Lim has his assassins searching for something, though what it is I couldn't say. Minister Sheng knows better than to stick his nose in the business of the Lotus Assassins. I didn't want the town to panic, so I kept Lim's presence here a secret. Better the peasants think it was ghosts. A much less terrifying idea. Some brave soul must travel through the old ruins, which are absolutely not infested with ghosts, and close the Great Dam. The gate to the ruins is locked, but I have a key. I cannot order or even ask someone to go do this. If the Great Dam closes, the ruins will flood. Various assassins and soldiers will be killed. Not good for my career. But if I happen to lose the key and someone happened to find it, the town could be saved and the problem solved without any sanction from me. What are you talking about? I haven't given you anything. Although I will need that back when you're done. Oh, and I am certainly not going to tell you that the ruins can be reached by heading across the footbridge and out the west gate of town. It wouldn't be proper. Minister Sheng remembers when flyers were reserved for the wealthy elite of the Imperial City. Now pirates use them to raid the countryside. Disgraceful. I suppose in theory you could find a flyer at the pirate camp upriver. In practice, however, I doubt you would find the pirates very accommodating. I suppose Rue the bosun is mad enough to take you if he's drunk. Yes. Rue is surely the only one who would make the trip, and then the pirates would kill you. Rue announced 3 days ago that he was going to close the Great Dam, but first he stopped at the tea house for a bowl of wine. As far as I know, he's still there. I recently saw a large fleet of flyers pass by. Minister Sheng held out hope that they had come to escort him away from this demeaning post and back to the Imperial City. But the flyers never stopped in Tien's Landing. They headed upriver towards the pirates' camp. No doubt they went there to refuel, though where they are now I could not say. The pirates are just one more affliction that plagues this troubled town, and yet another headache for poor Minister Sheng. They raid the surrounding countryside, swooping down with their flyers to capture slaves. Do you know how bad it looks when someone under my jurisdiction is captured by slavers? Fortunately, they haven't attacked the town itself yet. Gao, the man I hear is running them, knows that would draw too much attention. The drunks clogging up the streets aren't pirates. They're only traveling merchants, sailors who were trapped here when the dam was opened. Minister Sheng finds them to be an annoyance, but not a concern worth worrying about. If the dam is closed, they will simply disappear, not like Gao and his pirates. Yes, I believe that was his name. Gao, an unsavory character by all accounts. There are even rumors he is connected to that infamous crime syndicate known as the Guild. The pirates have been operating in this area for many years, or so I was told. However, things became much more serious when Gao took over. The pirates started using flyers and gathering slaves at an enormous rate. I imagine things are very unpleasant over at their camp. Not that I'm willing to go take a look. Are you accusing Minister Sheng of neglecting this problem? It's not that easy. One can't simply point and say, the pirates are over there. Well, actually, one can. But the only approach is by river, and no sane bargeman would be willing to risk such a journey. Sane people don't go looking for the pirates. They avoid them. I suppose Rue the bosun is mad enough to take you if he's drunk. Yes, Rue is surely the only one who would make the trip. And then the pirates would kill you. Oh yes, let's. But nothing would please Minister Sheng more. Certainly. Let us discourse on a variety of topics. It isn't as if Minister Sheng has anything better to do. What shall we talk about? Ah, my favorite subject. Ask, and Sheng, Imperial Minister of Harmony for this entire region, will let you bask in the glory that is me. Don't! Why, how dare... Yes, you are right. I am Minister of this bleeding pusspool of a town. And yes, it is because I am in disfavor. Are you through? Because you haven't yet picked on my appearance or my family history. Why stop short of completely obliterating the last little bit of dignity to which Minister Sheng clings? Woe to Sheng that his sole ally is an uneducated simpleton. The Ministry of Harmony oversees taxes and executions for this entire region. Judge Fang, the Chief Minister of Harmony, he didn't want me anywhere near the seat of power. He sent me here, An exile as unjust as any in the history of the Empire. Jealousy! You see, by the rosters of the Imperial bureaucracy, I am next in line for Fang's job. It was only a matter of time until Minister Sheng ascended to his position. Fang does not think much of me, so he banished me to this remote branch of the Ministry of Harmony. Now one of his lackeys will take my rightful position as his successor. The shame! Since the Great Dam opened and the lake drained, there has been a ship trapped in port and the sailors are growing increasingly rowdy. Some of them got drunk and set fire to the Ministry of Harmony's office. That is the ruin of it over there. What can be done? The sailors want to leave as badly as the town wants them gone. But until the dam is closed, their ship isn't going anywhere. I'm sure Captain Ing down by the pier would offer you some sort of reward to close the Great Dam and free his ship. But that is what we in the Ministry of Harmony call a hint. The humiliation that a dread and mighty lord such as I should be reduced to answering the questions of simple folk. Oh, please, ask away. Minister Sheng, that's Imperial Minister Sheng of the Ministry of Harmony, has nothing better to do than act as your guide to local customs. A ship was in port when the Great Dam opened and the river drained. Now it is trapped here. The sailors behaved for a time, but now they've gone mad with boredom. I'm sure Captain Ing down by the pier would offer you some sort of reward to close the Great Dam and free his vessel. That is what we in the Ministry of Harmony call a hint. Minister Sheng may be banished to this festering boil of a town, but I refuse to learn anything of its history. There is far too much for me to worry about as it is. Ask your questions of the old fool who crouches on the north side of the square, muttering to himself about the old days. Minister Sheng needs doers, not askers. What has happened to the helpful but silent peasant that was once a staple of the Empire? It is true I am knowledgeable and well-traveled. Very well, let me elucidate. A giant among men, superb, the best emperor ever. Surely he will soon allow me to return to the Imperial City. Surely. Of course, I hold all the Emperor's advisors in the highest esteem. Death's Hand serves the Emperor, as do we all. He is a trifle terrifying, however. But I respect him. Oh, yes, I respect him so very, very much. Oh, I miss it so. And it misses me, I am sure. A grand place, but I fear I shall never see it again. Even the mention of the name brings sorrow to Minister Sheng's heart. Please, let us discuss some other topic. Recollecting the grandeur of the Imperial City in these mean and meager surroundings is too cruel a tragedy to bear. Yes, yes, go and leave Minister Sheng alone to ponder his troubles. Now go close the Great Dam, and I never said that.
Lord Yun has put out a call for aid. Will none of you answer? Finally, someone approaches me. I was worried that this town's courage had drained away with the water. You seem a woman who knows her way around a battlefield. Are you willing to put those skills to the test? Not personally, no. On behalf of Lord Yun, I'm here to find a skilled warrior who can deal with a unique problem. The Great Southern Forest, which lies north of this village, suffers from a terrible disease. Every Every tree within its borders sickens, and the place is infested with ghosts of all manners. If we did, would I be here? Lord Yun, my master, seeks a way to open the forest again and make it safe for travel. He is prepared to reward whoever aids him. Our men are no match for the ghosts in the forest. Perhaps you are. As I said, the trees in the great southern forest sicken, and the paths fill with vicious ghosts. No caravan dares to travel its depths, cutting off huge sections of the south from the Empire's heart, and Lord Yun collects no taxes when no one travels his lands. You must leave Tien's Landing via the gate and follow the roadway to the north. The forest is but a short journey away, and Lord Yun makes his camp at the base of a hill, which should be easy to find. The path there is relatively safe, but travel beyond his camp and things worsen considerably. Go safely, and remember what I've said. Lord Yun needs the help of able warriors like yourself.
Konio nuyu, kokeir tatasinan. Sun puno onuyusir taikunpa ibnano pir ni wonu. Wonoir efuir uk sunortfonir sir sisitu. Sata afsoir, uk napir anigir ninpir. Owo sair uyukap tantarundano, wo tarwair shafir owo. Wo kausoir noka wowo tarwair shaksir finopifu. Wonoir efuir uk sunortfonir sir sisitu. Sata afsoir, uk napir anigir ninpir. Usosir uthak tarwair, shafir owosu. Woquair ano uyu, kubkithir soso wawer wakwakir tower wo. Wokausoir noka wowo tarwair shaksir finopifu.
Ah, I see the glint of intelligence, nobility, wisdom, consideration, and piety in your eye. A fine day to you. What can I sell you? Well, I make my living by knowing people. I can clearly see that you are of the finest sort. That is to say, the sort with silver ready in hand. Can I interest you in some seed? What about a pitchfork? I have hay as well. I'm afraid I do not. Just a few years ago, you could find wind maps everywhere, although only the rich needed them with their airship racing. Recently, the wind maps have disappeared. I know that when the Emperor's men left Tien's Landing, they took all the wind maps with them. There are those who say, but it is not important. Some say that Death's Hand is collecting all the wind maps and destroying them so that only he and his minions may travel freely about the Empire. However, I do not believe such talk. I believe firmly in the goodness, kindness, and wisdom of our Emperor and all those around him. I suppose there may still be merchants in the Imperial City who have some, and they were once so widely available that there must be some here and there. But I do not have any, nor do I know anyone who has one. I have the finest selection of seed, I carry excellent baskets, wonderful fish nets, and superb boat scrubbers. I have a cloak so warm it's like a weapon against the cold. I have a scrubber so good that it cleans like magic. Who wouldn't want a basket so big you can carry 2 babies in it? Very well. When you're ready to spend, I am ready to sell.
Everything I am, I owe to the Emperor.
Hey? What do you want?
I'm Wei. Some call me Old Wei, but that's because they don't know Old Chan. If I'm old, he's ancient. He's at least a week older than me. Of course, we're both pretty old compared to most of the people in Tien's Landing. Why, most of them don't even remember what it was like before the flood. 18 years ago, Emperor Sun was young and flush with success from ending the drought. He began public works all over the empire, including the Great Dam downriver. The workmen came and started building it near our town. We were not engineers, and so we were not sure what it would mean. Some worried that it might flood us out. Most were unconcerned. After all, if there were any danger, the Emperor would tell us, surely. One day, the Great Dam was finished, and the floodgates were closed. The town flooded. We took what we could and fled. Mothers ran about screaming for their children who'd gone out to play. Children screamed for their dogs. Some folks climbed to the roofs of their houses and refused to leave. We survivors straggled upriver. Some collapsed from exhaustion, but the water kept rising. I carried a boy and a girl, and I saw another boy fall, but I couldn't carry him. Finally, I fell over too, and when I woke, I found the water had stopped rising. The Great Dam had created an enormous lake, and we settled our new town on the banks. The lake completely covered the ruins of our town. Life went on, but no word ever came from the imperial city. No warning, no explanation. Did we displease the Emperor, or were we just beneath his notice? I will never know. The crewmen who manned the Great Dam would come to town sometimes, but they knew no more than we. I will go to my grave, never knowing. The people started a new life here, but there was much pain and sorrow. Conversations would trail off. At night you could hear women sobbing, and not a few men. Finally, people stopped talking about the past, and then they refused to talk about it altogether. And eventually they pretended it never happened. A few months ago, the Emperor's engineers and soldiers left. They just went off in the night. Soon after, the Great Dam opened on its own. There wasn't anyone around. The water drained, revealing the old ruins. And underwater these 18 years. And now they're back. I don't know what made the Great Dam open. Some say it was ghosts. They say those who died in the town don't want to be forgotten. Oh, we don't know how. We're simple people, and the Great Dam is not a simple thing. They say there is magic involved in its construction. You look like you know how to fight. You look like you can stand up for yourself, so you don't understand. We are villagers. We farm and fish. We live at the mercy of the gods, nature, and the Emperor. If one or all of these masters is kind, it is good. If one or all choose to be cruel, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to get the fish hauled in. Oh, thank you for listening, youngster. Not many do anymore.
This is bad. Oh, this is bad. River dried up, pirates everywhere. This is worse than the long drought.
Taui ia kawana ia sonir ipoki. Wosiwania sa ia sakaku usawa ia nupakpoporo. Okniko fia apania sasa tatasi noni nano yok yowia sonsi ya wo yowia. Okniko fia apania sasa tatasi noni nano yok yowia sonsi ya wo yowia. Ni wupa ia kupu sa ia awath kraka ia nano uksaro isowak mikano wo napia shatia uko. Ni wu sosawa ia wak tasi noni nano yopa napia ifa ia ok. Ni wupa ia kupu sa ia awath kraka ia nano uksaro isowak mikano wo napia shatia uko. Okniko fia apania sasa tatasi noni nano yok yowia sonsi ia wo yowia. Wo noa ea sususatia sonsi fonia sonsi ifo. O ifo ia ok sonkop noko isansia. Okniko fia apania sasa tatasi noni nano yok yowia sonsi ia wo yowia. Kutkosi wiwa ia wo noa ia ifo ia o ta wikino.
Silver of this magnitude could help us in our efforts. Do not turn away from it lightly.
Piershat ukni uksa ia sun puno kahon wo ushashia uksa hiaka. Awath utkua wo kokopia kawa ia elwo. Irkana, wo nigasuri kwana no kasa iriro. Ikirnik tine piwo, wo iperek uok son puno.
You taught me much, Jian, but the most valuable lessons were learning where you were wrong. 17th square of the Lion, if you please.
Wo towe uok kawana ir usoana da hoki. Niato no napadi irovir.
You are being rude, Jian. We have a guest. Let us place the game on hold a moment.
Tawe ir kawana ir sonir ipoki. Wanakapir sari awaf, fam sir surofos isinosaurus usuno.
Surely you know of Yi, the capturing game? Played on a board of 19 rows and columns, the black and white pieces capture territory for their player.
Ikirnik tine piwo, wo iperek uok son puno. Okie fakarea, ni uokaristo wipa.
Do not be so hasty, Jian. You did not turn me aside all those years ago.
Nararo, na pirapir ni takatashi. Niato no napadi irovir, kuni ugnawata ir.
Forgive him. Had my former master bothered to remember his manners, he might have told you that we are not from Tian's Landing. We know little of the events here.
Nigasurier kwana no kuni ugnawata ir nignipier.
Jian the Iron Fist isn't honestly going to let this one walk away, is he? If you don't say anything, then I will, you old goat.
Sisair pawaro, tikotro tuaso.
I too see strength, but also the capacity for understanding the world and your place in it. You could prove an interesting pupil.
Ipanar nuko iwa ir, nigasanarir, iruro ninua sa irkana.
He would like nothing more than to have you as a student. But show me that you walk the way of the open palm, and I will teach you the mysteries of Stone Immortal.
Both Tempest and Stone Immortal are very sensitive to your temperament. Harmony or discord can affect your ability to control air and earth respectively.
Usair Kokonato, Tanatia, Katanano, Shafatoyo, Kokonato Siri Panonenico.
Ing better figure out a way to get us out of here soon, or I'm going to snap. The folks of this town were kind at first, but now they're starting to annoy me.
Look at all these people here. When my old father told me to come to the big city, he never warned me about the crowds. Back on the farm, I ain't never seen so many people and buildings in one place. Except for livestock. But I guess they ain't people. Or buildings. My name's Tian, but everyone calls me Big Tian because I'm so big. I came to the city to try to find me a wife. So far it's not going so good. Say, you're real pretty. You want to be my wife? You could come live on my farm. I got chickens and oxen and lots of land. It would be hard at first, working the farm by ourselves. But after you have 6 or 7 kids, they can help out too. Oh, okay. Well, do you know any other pretty young gals looking for a husband? Well, that's a real shame. If you run across any nice gals, do me a favor and mention my name to them. Big Tian. You have a nice day now.
We ought to form a guild. Everyone else has them, why not us?
Hey, Baker Bay. How are you today?
Go away! I told you I want no part of this. Tell Eiling to leave me alone.
If you want to tell Eiling something, go tell her yourself. In the meantime, we have our orders. Nothing personal. It's a little personal with me. I like sticking your face in the gutter. Hold on a sec. We've got company. You're a little too interested in our business, friend. Looks like we gotta teach you to back off when Eiling's boys are working.
Longsword!
Can you believe that these thugs would just attack me in broad daylight like that? They might have killed me if you hadn't stepped in. Thank you. I never expected such help from a stranger. You spoke to Lan? Humiliating. My fiancé must have told you I can't protect myself. The woman I love doesn't have faith in me? Oh, the shame. I'll never live this down. Yes, you're right, of course. I suppose I can't fault Lan for being worried about me. I've taken some serious beatings lately. I didn't mean to sound ungrateful. I'm just worried about Lan. She's very emotional. I've done my best to try and keep her from becoming involved in this. Those thugs are acting on Eiling's orders. She's the head of their gang. They have a small hideout in the boathouse. Eiling and I were friends when we were children, but we drifted apart as we grew up. She fell in with some rough people, as you've already seen. Ever since I got engaged, Eiling has become obsessed with me. Every day she sends her thugs to beat me up. She says she won't stop until I go talk to her. She's obviously crazy. I've done nothing to her. We haven't even spoken in years. If I go to her hideout to talk to her, I'm afraid that I'll never come out. At least the beatings on the street are out in public. They won't kill me in front of witnesses. Well, not on purpose anyway. No. Lan's very emotional. I didn't want her to get upset. At first, I didn't tell her anything at all. But I couldn't hide my bruises forever. So I told her about the beatings. But even then, I didn't mention Ailing. It's bad enough what's happening to me. I was afraid if Lan became more involved, Ailing might hurt her too. I'm being completely honest, I swear. I know how this looks. You must think I've done something to deserve this, but I have no idea why Ailing is after me. Thank you so much. Ailing and her thugs are in the boathouse. Please just ask her to leave me alone. All we want is to live our lives in peace.
Hello! You do not need to speak with me. I am just Merchant Xiang's assistant. Perhaps someday I will be Merchant Xipeng, mightiest merchant of Tian's Landing. But for now, I am just an assistant, not worthy of your honorable time.
Hello there, stranger. I haven't spotted you around Tian's Landing before. You've come at a bad time, what with the dam being open and all. Regardless, it's good to meet you. I'm Darting Lynx, the acrobat. Unfortunately, I'm not putting any shows on in Tian's Landing, if that's why you're here. You know, feats of balance and precision, delicate routines to shock and amaze. Whatever brings some silver, really. I travel around the countryside putting on acts and sometimes teaching people a few tricks. Hey, now that I think of it, you're a warrior, right? I may not be putting on any shows here, but I could teach you a few techniques to improve your balance and speed if you're interested. It's not much of a story, really. It's just a stage name I picked up when I first started practicing acrobatics. I was quite young, and my master felt I was a little too fast for my own good. "You dart like a lynx," he would say, "but you balance like a drunken frog." He taught me to slow my movements and really focus on what I was doing, but his nickname for me stuck. As I said, I'm not really from here, so there's not much I can tell you. You could try talking to Minister Shang, though. He always knows what's going on. I get the sense that he doesn't do much about it, but he's at least aware. At least you'll be easy to teach. I don't know if you've ever tried to teach a man balance, but it's no simple task. You'd think we'd be the ones having a hard time. I swear, if men had breasts, they wouldn't be able to walk straight, let alone hold a handstand. You, of all people, must be able to sympathize. Nothing we can't overcome. Let's see what I can teach you.
Finally! Someone stronger than these cowed peasants. This town disgusts me. I am Scholar Six Heavens, and I need someone who possesses great strength and skill. What I do not need, however, is someone who walks the way of the open palm. I can read in every movement that you would protect the weak and coddle the poor. They must protect themselves. You see? Your every action and each word tells me that you are not the person I need. If I can see by your actions that you understand the way of the closed fist, I promise to make it worth your while. Otherwise, I will not waste any more time with you.
What do you want? Can't you see we're busy drinking here? Gotta wash away our sorrows. It's no fun being trapped in this town. We don't know nobody, we ain't seen our families in months, and now we're stuck here. That'd drive anyone to drink. Figurine? You mean that clay statue? Pretty little thing. I just borrowed it for a while. I didn't steal it. My ma used to have figurines like that. I ain't seen her in a long time. I really miss her. I just borrowed the figurine to remind me of her. A gift from his mom? Oh, jeez, I guess he probably wants it back, huh? Here, take the figurine. Yeah. I don't mean to cause no trouble. I just missed my ma is all. I ain't crying. I just got something in my eye. I gotta go back to the boat now. Come on, boys, let's go.
Konio nuyu, kokeir tatasina. Sun puno onu yusir taikunpa ipanano pir ni wonu. Wo yakuptir, ni shin warwair, wo suir kak. Ak we wo ofir, san kasoir wo siu tana. Onu yuir napair, wo kwair japshir fan onu yusair ikupan.
This here's a private club. Members only. Why didn't you say so in the first place? Go on in. They'll unlock the door for you.
Be careful. Trust no one in this place. We are a long way from your idyllic little village.
So, I hear you helped out Baker Bay today. Gave my boys a bit of a lesson, didn't you? They took it pretty hard. Even after all the beatings I gave them over the years, they still aren't used to losing to a girl. Maybe the humiliation will be good for them. Everyone thinks that Bay and that little seamstress make such a nice couple. But Bay already promised to marry me. I know what you're thinking. Why would Bay want to marry someone like me? I may not be a delicate little flower like Lon, but I don't want to run this gang forever. Someday I want a husband, maybe a little house, kids too. Bay promised to give me all that. He promised to marry me, and now he's trying to weasel out of it. But a promise is a promise. I won't forget that, even if he tries to. Yeah, you do that. Go tell Lon what kind of man Bay really is. See how she likes it when she finds out her perfect fiancé proposed to another woman.
Hello again, Honorable One. Did you get the chance to speak with Eileen? Is she going to leave me alone now? What? That's preposterous! She's lying! Lan's the only woman I ever proposed to. I don't know why Eileen would say something like that. If Lan heard these lies, well, I don't know what she'd do. Please see if you can get this straightened out with Eileen before these rumors get back to my fiancé. Yes, I suppose I'll have to face her eventually. And I should be safe if you're with me. Okay, let's go. Lan, what are you doing here?
I figure we better get all the secrets out, Bay. If Lon's going to marry you, she should know what kind of man you really are.
She said there was something I need to know, Bay. What's going on? What is she talking about? What? Bay, how could you?
I didn't. It's a lie. I haven't spoken to her in years. Not since we were kids.
Don't pretend like you don't remember, Bay. It was summer and we were sitting on a little raft catching fish. I was upset because Li Shan had called me ugly. I was crying, so you took my hand and said, "I think you're pretty, Eileen. And someday when we're grown up, I'll marry you."
What? But that was years ago. We were kids. We were only 6 years old. You can't hold me to that. Kids say all kinds of things, Eileen. Remember when you took my frog and I called you a bully? You swore you'd never speak to me again. That same day you gave me the frog back, you said you'd never, ever, ever do anything to make me unhappy. Kids always say things like that. It doesn't mean anything.
It meant something to me, Bay. You were the only boy who didn't tease me, the only one I liked. You promised to marry me, and you're going to keep that promise. Well, yes, I did say that. But that was when we were still friends. Now he pretends like he doesn't even know me. He's changed. Yes, but... well... you're right. I know you're right. Bay's right. We were just kids. I guess I can't hold him to his promise. You win, Lon. Bay is yours.
If I had more, I would gladly give it to you. But my family isn't rich. This dowry is all I have. Please, take it with my thanks.
After all you've done for us, now you are letting Lan keep her dowry as well? Your generosity knows no bounds. I'm overwhelmed.
You've done so much for us, and we've given you so little. Wait, I know. We will name our first child after you to honor your memory.
I'm glad everything worked out for you two, and I'm sorry, Bay. I don't know what came over me. When I heard you and Lon were getting married, I just snapped.
It's okay, Eileen. I hope things work out for you.
Come on, Bay. Let's go.
I hope things work out for Bay and Lon. After everything I put them through, they deserve it. I don't know what came over me. It's just... Bay was my last chance to have a family. My only chance to find a husband. When I heard he was engaged, I realized I'd never get out of this life I've created. What respectable man would ever want to marry a girl like me? Even the lummoxes in my gang would only do it because they're afraid of me. This town is short on eligible bachelors as it is. I mean, there are a few guys out there I know of, but none of them would be interested in me. I have a reputation around town, and having my boys beat up Bay didn't help any. Any half-decent man would probably run if they saw me coming. Huh. You really think you can pull this off? Tell you what. You find me a decent husband, and I'll make it worth your while. My, business ventures have been very profitable. But don't think I'm desperate enough to settle for just anyone. I've got my standards. And I'd have to meet him first, of course. Let's see. There's Rue the bosun, but he's nothing but a drunk. My boys have had more than a few run-ins with him over the years. He's definitely out. Schumann the craftsman is single. I don't know him that well, but he seems like a good man. He has a home in the southwest corner of the town. And then there's Yaru. He used to be a sailor traveling the Empire, but now he's looking to settle down. He might be a good catch. Spends most of his time in the tea house. Not living in town, and Tien's Landing doesn't get a lot of visitors. But if you find someone looking for a wife, bring him by so I can check him out. The only reason I was interested in Bay was because I figured he was my only chance of ever finding a husband, and I knew he was a decent guy. It's not like he was the love of my life or anything. He just seemed like a logical choice. There's not a lot of options in this town. Yeah, right. The pickings in Tien's Landing are mighty slim for a girl like me. But if you find someone, just bring him back so I can meet him. And, well, good luck.
Welcome, stranger! Welcome to beautiful Tien's Landing! Isn't it a glorious day? Oh, I know, people complain and grumble, but honestly, I think they're overreacting. Things can't be that bad, right? After all, you're here. If the town was truly doomed, would we still be getting visitors? Ha! I think not. In fact, I think your presence here is a sure sign that things are looking up. Soon, all our problems will be solved. It's just like I kept saying. Things will get better, they always do. It's like my father used to say, the greater the problem, the greater the solution. I'm sure it'll all work out. Denial? Preposterous! Sure, half the people have moved away, and those who stayed have mostly given up hope, and the entire town is running out of food and silver. But does my optimism mean I'm in denial? Of course not! I mean, none of the buildings are on fire, right? See? Something good. Just like that, right off the top of my head. I admit that some see our Imperial Minister Shang as, well, not entirely competent or capable of dealing with our problems. But somehow things will work out. They always do. Of course, I will gladly converse on any number of topics. It's a fine way to pass the time on such a beautiful day. The Great Dam's been opened and the river level has dropped. Ships can't navigate the river and nobody can fish. But I think people are overreacting. Basically, we're suffering some minor inconveniences, which I'm sure will soon be resolved. Still, there are a few alarmists who scream and cry that our town is dying. Can you imagine? They have no faith in the Emperor, nor in Minister Shang, who is in charge of Tien's Landing. I am sure the cunning Shang has a plan to save us. Of course! I'm always happy to talk about Tien's Landing. We may have a few minor problems, but I'm sure Shang, our Imperial Minister, will find a way to solve them. A splendid question, and one in which I am particularly well-versed. It is a fascinating tale that dates back to the blessed first Emperor of Jade, Sagacious Tien. Before he was Emperor, before there was even an empire, Sagacious Tien was a young man, fond of wandering the countryside. One day he stopped, weary from his travels. He lay down to rest beneath the shade of a cool tree and had a marvelous dream of a shining empire. This dream drove him to create the Jade Empire as we know it. To honor the memory of his dream, he returned and built a summer palace in the spot where he had stopped to rest. In time, a town, this town, sprang up around the palace. Well, that was long ago. Over the centuries, the castle fell into ruin. But make no mistake, Tien's Landing is where he had his dream. The castle proves it. Yes, but there used to be, many centuries ago. All evidence of it may be gone now, but just knowing it was here once is all the proof I need. Other villages try to claim the Emperor had his dream while crossing their lands, but I know the truth. Tien's Landing, my hometown, is the birthplace of the Empire. Of course, I will gladly converse on any number of topics. It's a fine way to pass the time on such a beautiful day. Enjoy your stay in wonderful Tien's Landing, where things are never as bad as they seem.
Hello, and welcome to Chuman's Woodcrafts. I'm afraid I don't have any woodwork items ready right now. My inventory is a bit understocked. I'm Chuman the Craftsman. Nobody important, just a simple merchant of fine woodwork items. A merchant who may not be in business much longer, I'm afraid. There are several customers who owe me money, but with the dam open, times are hard. I can't expect them to pay me when they can't even feed their families. And if they don't pay me, I can't afford the raw materials to make my woodwork. It's a difficult situation, but I'm trying to make the best of it. No, that won't be necessary. I don't want to cause any trouble for my customers. I'm sure they'll pay me eventually. At least, I hope so. A noble offer, but I must refuse. Prospects for my shop are poor right now. I can't allow you to risk losing your investment. No, things will have to work out on their own. You might be right. I'm a fine craftsman, but I'm not much for business. I extend credit too easily, and then I can't bring myself to collect. It's just not in my nature. You are well informed about our little town, stranger. It's true, I've thought about marriage. Sometimes I've even thought a good woman could help me run my business better. Why do you bring this up? Do you know of a suitable young woman who would be willing to marry a simple craftsman like myself? Eileen, the gang leader? She's beautiful, to be sure, but I've heard her beauty is only surpassed by her savage brutality. Why would I want to marry her? I'm sure she can be pleasant when she wants to be, but from what I hear, she can also be quite unpleasant when the mood hits. Well, she did turn that gang of thugs into a rather efficient criminal organization, and she is quite attractive. I guess it couldn't hurt to go talk to her. Come on, let's go see Eileen. Hello, Eileen. I'm Chuman the Craftsman. I'm pleased to meet you.
What's wrong with you? You look like you're gonna throw up. If you vomit on my floor, you'll be cleaning it up yourself.
Forgive me, but this isn't easy. Things are moving quite quickly here. I'm more used to taking things slow and careful. Perhaps it's the nature of being a craftsman.
That's right. You're a woodworker, aren't you? I remember seeing your wares in the market square. You've made some beautiful pieces.
I'm an excellent craftsman, but I'm terrible at business. Between suppliers who don't deliver what they promise and customers who won't pay, I can barely afford to feed myself.
You're a sensitive man, Chuman. You have the gentle soul of an artist. What you need is a woman with some steel in her spine to back you up.
I'd like that, Eileen. I've often thought that if I had someone strong by my side, someone to help me, I could turn things around.
I think Chuman and I should spend some more time getting to know each other. Just the two of us. You lived up to your part of the bargain and brought me a decent prospect, so I'll live up to mine. Here's the silver I promised you.
I've never seen so much silver before. I've been owed it, but I never managed to collect.
I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful partnership.
All I can say is, at least we got paid. Or, that could have been the biggest waste of time I'd participated in.
Stop right there! I gave you 2 extra duty. Get back to that galley and start cleaning.
We don't have to listen to you, Ing. You're a captain without a ship. She's nothing but a landlocked house now.
I will discover a way to free this ship. Until then, you'd better follow orders.
I've had enough of you and your orders.
Now get back in that ship! I'm your captain, understand?
Well, you're still the captain, for now. But if you don't get us out of this town soon, you're going to have a mutiny on your hands. Then we'll see what's what.
If you've come to complain about my men, I don't want to hear it. When Minister Shen gets the Great Dam closed, we'll be happy to leave. Until then, we're stuck here. I'm Captain Ing. This is my ship, the Lucky Knight. She's a fine vessel, or was. But now that the Great Dam is open, the Lucky Knight is stranded here along with me and my men. We're sailors. We don't belong on land. If we could just get our ship back on the water, everything would be fine. But that won't happen until someone finds a way to close the dam. If I leave the ship, my men will have Tien's Landing in flames. The locals think the dam is haunted, and Minister Sheng can't find anyone brave enough to risk closing it. The moment I saw you, I knew you were the fearless sort. I hoped you would offer to help. It shames me to need the help of a stranger.
Must be something in the way you carry yourself. Everywhere we go, people ask you to do dangerous things. Remind me not to go anywhere with you.
I'm not a rich man, but my reputation, my ship, and my men are worth everything I can give. Close the dam and free us, and I'll give you all the silver I have. You won't get too far if you don't speak to Minister Sheng first. The dam is located in the ruins, but a pair of massive gates blocks the way. Only Sheng has the key. Excellent. The key will get you into the ruins, where you can close the Great Dam. I hope to see the water rising soon. Good luck. I'm not used to needing help from others. It was hard for me to say this, but thank you.